June is Audiobook Month. Join Viviana, the Enchantress of Books, and the Audiobook Lovin Series as she celebrates the authors and narrators who bring your favorite stories to life. Not only will this month be packed with exciting guest podcasts full of all things books, but stick around after each episode for some special information about this year's giveaway and more.
Hi everyone, we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary and I'm excited. Plus bonus, today I am chatting with a narrator, Vikas Adams. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having.
Absolutely. Welcome back. It's been a little bit. Yeah.
Here I am.
Yes. Well, we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary and I'm like, hey, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to have a party. And then I'm like, well, who am I inviting to the party? And I'm like, Vikas.
Yes. I love being invited to the party. And actually, now you got me wondering, 10-year anniversary present. What is the 10-year anniversary? It is supposed to be what is the traditional and modern gift guide? Hold on, you probably already know this, and so I'm just searching. By year, 10th anniversary. Traditional is tin or aluminum. Modern is diamond jewelry. Sorry, no. Metal or gemstone diamond. I'm like, why is the diamond the 10-year when the 60th is diamond?
Because he ran out of things to give.
I'm kind of like, I think that's cheating by putting, it's like, that's also giving like, and I think that's also, that's not giving a real vote of confidence. Where it's like,
how many people are going to get to the 60th, right?
I don't know if it's going to last. So let's get the diamond while we can. Oh, I forgot. Am I allowed to cuss on this or not?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's 18 plus.
Thank God.
Hey, I can use the word fuck as an adjective, verb, pronoun, and everything. So I'm good.
I paint with profanity.
See? It emphasizes things.
Hold on. Fucking siren.
I was trying to have an
interview here.
Well, that's the thing. I have my dogs. They might be barking in the background, things. This is why for me, it's just a very loose, relaxing conversations. And the listeners by now, if they haven't figured it out, you might hear a little bit of, lawnmower, doggy barking, kids interrupting.
I'm not closing the booth door.
No.
I'm like, no, because I'm not recording right now.
No one's paying for this. Y'all are getting it for free. This fun dialogue conversation is but my thing is getting to know you guys. But no, I did look up the gift for the 10th anniversary because I wanted to more or less as far as colors, because for every year the logo has changed colors. I love color coding. Plus it reminds me when I had to do a quick search of who was where. I'm like, wait, what year was it color? Oh, okay, that's that year. So where it was blue and silver. And so I'm like, when I was looking at the gifts, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna have Vikas be Vikas and that be my gift, kind of a thing, just hanging out with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, though the variety of what is a gift, I'm like, I just no. Well, there's a good question regarding gifts a little later. So, but I want to start it to ask first.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me think. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So if someone was,
I don't even know the question.
I was gonna say. Kind of he's mentally preparing for whatever I throw at him, folks.
It's early here.
Yes, it is. But I appreciate you starting your day with me that way. So
it's a lovely. Why not? It's like it's like start with joy and start with laughter.
Yay.
I should have my own TV show.
You should. Like a morning show.
Joy and laughter. It's joy and laughter because I'd be like doing a fucking show in the morning. I'm so not a morning person.
I remember that from the last conversation, and I'm like, so I was a little bit like, oh, okay, he's putting it pretty early for us to chat, but it's all good because we are gonna have fun.
Oh, we're totally gonna have fun. It's like I'm not a morning person, but I've been waking up early. It's like I think I've been turning into a morning person without really intending to, and I'm just holding on to the fact that I used to be a night owl, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I've done that.
It's like
yeah, well, again, we're freelancers, and so many times we don't have that 9 to 5 steady schedule like everybody else too, which means if they have to be in the office by 9, they have to that backward scheduling happens between dog feeding, traveling, and all that fun stuff. Thank you, pandemic. Many of us went into a totally new schedule where I was like, I'll get to bed. I, wake up at 8, stayed in bed until 10. Doggy's cat was on top of me. You can't move when that happens. So,
oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Right? But then now we're getting back into the swing of thing. I'm like, there's not enough hours in the day. I need to start waking up earlier and prepping for that. So yeah. So I feel you. I hear you. All this fun stuff. But I am curious. If someone was to summon you via a cauldron, not that I don't know, a bunch of them. Selfish question here. What 3 ingredients or things would they have to have in order to bring you forth?
Oh my God. These aren't the only 3 ingredients.
No.
Okay, so it's 3 possible ingredients.
Yes.
Just for the time being, I'm going to say homemade chai. Saffron. And a good book.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So now we have those ingredients. Whether he will come through, folks, I don't know.
Well, because those are 3 possible ingredients.
Yeah,
it's not the only ingredient,
right? So it's just gonna be one of those, like, he's like, I'm in the mood for a chai.
I mean, if you fucking throw in a Starbucks pre-made syrupy chai, I'm gonna be like, sorry.
No, it has to be homemade the best way.
And it has to be like with the right. Yeah, I didn't give every secret ingredient.
No, it's okay. So, because someone's listening. Someone's listening, taking notes at the possibility of potentially bringing, like, I want to hang out with Vikas today and just throw the ingredients into the cauldron, see what happens. Oh, goodness me.
And I'm an expensive bitch, saffron,
but worth it. Okay.
So worth it.
Yes. So worth it. Again, I understand when it comes down to herbs and stuff, aside from culinary school, but also I have a love and affinity for herbs and the various things we can do with them. And, when you get a good herb there going, you're like, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So the other question I have for you is, because we're getting to know you as a human being, individual, and I'm curious about this stuff and, just on a deeper level. To you, for you, what does a healthy relationship look like?
Listening. Laughing. And when we're saying relationship, what kind of relationship are we talking about? Are we talking about a friendship? Are we talking about like a life partner?
Wouldn't they kind of be one and the same a little bit, at least basic? Because you would hope that,
basic.
Yeah.
I do believe what I just mentioned, listening and laughing, but also more importantly, seeing the other person as a fellow human being, and not elevating or lowering them status wise or reverence wise or anything like that. I think it's so. I think we're human. I think we fall into the idea of, like, placing people on a pedestal or saying they are, you're a nobody. And I think we are all guilty of that. We naturally do that. And so one of the things that I am consistently trying to do is really looking at everyone as a fellow human being. But I think one of the other things is, removing pretenses. Not trying to be something you're not. Which is tough. Easier said than done.
Yeah, but it's exhausting if you're trying to keep up pretense all the time.
Yeah, and as we keep on, we speak about this, we've heard it ad nauseum, we talk about, like, as people become older and they like, it's like, I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks. And as the age creeps up on me, and I go with it, I begin to see some of that, and I'm like, see that within myself. And that's when I also look at it as, it's not so much even I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks. It's the not having time for the games or the energy that was put into having to try to be something that you're not. And I think that includes being kind to people. So yeah.
Okay. All good. All good things.
Sorry, it's so early in the morning. I didn't mean to be all like,
no, this is what,
philosophical.
no, but that's what I want though. I want to have these kind of conversations because, we get on social all the time and either, of course, we're posting things that we want people to see, right? Or we think people want to see. And then we're hearing you guys perform others' work, these authors' books. And then sometimes some of the listeners can kind of get a little confused as to who you are and the character. And that's another conversation. But it's just one of those things we also kind of like, we don't get to know you guys a whole lot other than what we see in things like, like the previous episode when we had the first time you were on here, we did the whole industry chat, right? How do you prep a book and stuff like that? And that's, kind of cool for you to know. But I also kind of want to know, like, what are your thoughts on, healthy relationship? Like the next question is we were talking about gifts. So like love languages, what are your love languages?
Oh. That's been a journey of discovery, but I think words of affirmation.
Okay.
Is that affirmation, right?
Yeah.
Affirmation, not validation, because validation is so I actually don't. Yeah, affirmation.
Okay. Yeah. Those are important. And I've also discovered that when it comes down to the love languages, it's not just with your partner, but also within friendships, but even work,
Oh, absolutely.
And so I've tried to have that conversation with my friends and my families and things like that. And even with my, work people to say, hey, just so you know, it's a little awkward at first because sometimes I'm kind of like, why are you telling me? Like, just so you know,
yeah,
during a party to celebrate and thing is not going to do it for me, love.
yeah,
and stuff like that. And they're like,
I'm like going, damn it. It's like my love language, like, it's that to receive, it is words of affirmation, but I'm like going, damn it, why the fuck can't it be gifts? I'm like a cheap fucking date when it comes to relationships. I'm like, just say I did something good and you're fine. Versus it's like, well, there's kind of like that. I giggle. I'm like, am I screwing myself out of some really good possible swag?
right.
because my love language isn't gifts. Okay, not my first one, at least. Trust me, love language is gifts still, so take some of that, but maybe you can affirm your words of affirmation. Can it be gifts of affirmation?
Right? No, but that's the thing. It's a tally of things. It's like when they say, usually when we have the conversation, I think for love languages, like it is a bit in an order. Like the first one for you would be love, words of affirmation. But also who is the person that you're having this dialogue with? Because for them, they might be the gifts is their love language, not just receiving, but giving. So it's one of those things where that dialogue has to happen within the relationship, regardless of what that relationship is, to figure out where's that happy medium. Because if you're, and so, so not for sure. Okay. Words of affirmation. It's one of mine too. Access service is another one of mine too. So for sure. What is the one thing that will get on your nerves immediately?
And this is going to be interesting. A neediness and it's a fine line. If I'm placing myself out there as I'm here for you, I'm here to support you, but then an individual is still really needy and is just they're not able to trust me or trust themselves to not have to worry that what I said was true, and they continue a behavior that exhibits a neediness or a need for validation, which is why I was trying to distinguish between the two with affirmation versus validation. That can be a real, I don't want to say turn off, but it makes me like, shut down and move back a bit. And I think that ties back into trying to view everyone, we're human. We're on that same level. And that's a me thing. Once again, that's me trying to look at someone. I don't I'm not going to say you meet a celebrity that you're like, there's a reverence, and it's like, oh my God, yes, have fun with that. If that brings you joy and everything like that, and the celebrity's cool with that, great. I'm talking in general. I'm talking a lot more generally, where validation, that need for it, especially after the initial hand has been placed out as to like, you don't have to do this, and that behavior continues. And that for me goes across the board. It's like it goes across the board when I see a lot of younger artists even social media has become, that's why it's like I have such a love-hate relationship when I see people placing things on social media trying to get acknowledged or validated. If they disclose something, and my ask is, what is the reason for disclosing this? Is it because you need that? Is it because you need the validation? You need the, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm like, like, you're an amazing person, versus the intent to educate, versus trying to elevate an energy. That's where I get, a little more, I think it's good to have a support system. If you need we all need that. I'm not going to say we don't need validation. And that's why I said it's a fine line at the very beginning of this. We all need validation. But when it becomes, I think we have to be choosy, and we have to be, that's what our circle of friends are for, or our circle of professional colleagues who that relationship has been established. But then it's a give and take. It's a very complicated, that's a complicated question, Viviana. Come on.
What? The answers can run. Oh, I mean, I've had people like, well, when they eat with their mouth opens. But funny enough, like one of those things that gets on my nerves too is the same thing with you, that needing, that constant need for that validation. Like, look at me, look what I'm doing. I'm like, stop it. Or when they're doing things for the attention and stuff like that. So it's, I get it.
And
mm-hmm.
But I think that also comes with that's an age thing too. I'm hoping, you know what I mean? I hope. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. And I'm not saying
that's kind of you.
I'm not saying everyone of a certain age is needy or anything like that, because that's not true at all. We see it as people are older too, and I also think I speak from a place of recognizing of having been in that place at one point myself.
I think we've all done it at one point in our lives, whether because there's insecurity, if someone also has had, situations where, they were the victim of someone, and not just, someone, or they were mistreated by people and taken advantage of, or they were told that they're not good enough. And now they're like stuff like that too. But there's also that level.
But also the world that you and I live in with artists. Yeah. We, and there is artists, we do need validation. We do need that, and validation and affirmation. And I think it's so important to distinguish, and that there's a healthy amount to give. But I think when it becomes a lifestyle and a continued habit, and you're not recognizing it within yourself, that and it becomes a drain, I think that's when, for me, it's like I end up having to, like, okay, I need to place a boundary up here.
I call those energy vampires. Sometimes,
and that's it. Total, yeah.
Okay, I feel I understand that. So on the, a little bit on the opposite side, what's the one thing that never fails to make you feel better?
I think it's someone with a positive energy. I think it's, dogs.
You know,
I mean, happy dogs, happy animals. I think the one good thing the internet has done, it's like the happy animal videos that we get to see. And those are real serotonin boosters. Serotonin, right?
I think so. Yeah, serotonin,
Serotonin.
dopamine. I wanted those two.
It's dopamine, but it's like, hello, audiobook narrator. I'm gonna look it up right now in my dictionary app because serotonin, because I can never remember. And there's someone on the other side is just going, yes, it's serotonin, you asshole. Could you stop? Do you have to look? Do you have? Can you believe? Oh, hold on, I'm spelling it wrong. Serotonin. I was going serotonin, like with an A.
Yeah. That's also happens when you're bilingual. You're like, wait a minute, hold on, pronunciation.
Oh well, this ain't helpful.
Yeah.
This ain't helpful. It's a fucking phenolic amine neurotransmitter that is a powerful vasoconstrictor and is found in special. Fuck this. I just need to know whether it's the stuff that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I think it is.
Serotonin. What is it? It's a chemical that carries messages. It plays a key role in two Logan. Oh, fuck my life. This is not just giving me a straight answer.
Oh no.
I'll even take like, a bisexual answer at this point. I'm like, yeah.
This one is interesting for me too, but I'm wondering how you're gonna go with it. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Who would narrate an audiobook memoir about your life?
Well, if I'm not around, obviously. I think it goes back to, it's like, it would be me. But if I'm not around and if it's someone else, it would be someone who had a sense of and a pride with being dual culture, but really especially having a grasp of correct pronunciation. Triculture, not even dual culture, triculture, sorry. And having a grasp of proper pronunciation of South Asian names and words and Parsi Gujarati names and words and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
Not that sexy of an answer.
Well, some people have someone in mind. Others are like, oh, okay, it could be someone. As long as they do this, it doesn't really matter. Because you would hope that whoever's casting will cast appropriately.
Yeah, it's gonna be me because it's my fucking story, dude. But if I'm not around. Now, if it's a tell-all, if it's like a fucking tell-all that's like salacious and dirty and nasty and stuff like that, let's just cast Julia Whalen to do it. Just,
Oh, Julia Whalen.
You can tell her I said that too. That's the kind of point.
Hey, Julia, you've been cast in a book. Someone needs to write it first. However, it's a salacious story.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh,
yeah.
goodness. Yep, got it. Well, at least, hey, job security.
It'll sell. Cast Eduardo Ballerini, or actually Scott. Anyone who's like the furthest from me as possible. Let's cast Ray Porter. Let's cast. I'm just thinking of all my friends whom I love, whom I'm like, Emily Wiesel, Ronnie Butler.
Yeah. You have a good list there of potential, if anything ever wants to be, written and stuff. But
the problem is I don't want it. Sunil and I haven't even put Sunil and Ankani on there because it's like I'm like going, yeah, y'all would make it sound good. I don't want it to sound good. I want if it's going to be a salacious memoir, I want it to be the Room version of my memoir.
Okay. Well, the other thing too is like I would be like, if let's say the regular memoir and it's the story that you're sharing, for someone to go, listen, I was there. That is not how that fucking happened.
That would be me. That would be me. And they're like, you wrote this, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm remembering it differently, like today because it's Tuesday. Ugh.
Oh goodness, the rewrites on your book then would be ugh.
Being a fucking water sign, man, I'm telling you.
What is your sign? Is it Scorpio or?
No, I'm a Cancer.
Oh, Cancer. Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional wreck of a mess. You pick your nose the wrong way, and I'm like, "Fuck you!" Or sorry, you pick your other nostril the right way, and I'm like, "What did I do to make you hate me?"
Do you believe in the whole like astrology, what signs and our personalities that we're born into?
To a degree.
Okay.
Not I'm never 100%, but
Of
it's like
course, yeah.
to a degree. I mean, I think that there are. I mean, I look at people who've had their full charts. I've had like a full chart done, and I'm like, holy shit, this is pretty shockingly accurate. So yeah, I'm like to a degree, but as with anything, I don't think there's 100% guarantee.
Yeah, there's always those other factors, but I do know like when I'm talking to someone and I'm going, feels like a Scorpio, and then the conversation comes up and I'm like, yep, I was right.
Trust me, I'm sure that there are some Scorpios out there who are not as good in bed as the astrology says they are.
Because we do look at that, folks. We do.
Trust me, there have been people I've considered in real life where I'm like going, oh, but they're a Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I'm a Pisces. So
we're
mm-hmm.
emotion, just
Yeah. It's like where I'm at, and I know that I can be a little overly sensitive on things but I can also mean that that's very lovey-dovey with you, and I will help you hide the body if you come at me with the right way, and but I will also put you in a jar if you piss me off because I'm a March Pisces.
Find out there's someone made like an astrology like a astrology signs most likely to be serial killers, and of course Cancer was at the top of the list.
I think I saw that. Oh, yeah.
I just took it to my trainer and I was like, yo, don't piss me off.
Well, lately, some folks have learned very, very well about, pissing off a Pisces, especially a March one. And so they're like, yep, I'm like, karma's a bitch, bro. And she's slow as fuck sometimes. But when it happens epically. And I will tackle like the evil laugh immensely.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, cancers are good, but I understand.
We're loyal.
Yes.
We're loyal.
Yeah. To a fault. Same thing with Pisces. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very loyal, and yeah, I kind of look at loyalty the same way where if I'm from the other side where I'm like,
yep.
But then that's part of the learning where it's like, okay, everyone's not gonna be that way.
It's a hard lesson and a hurtful one too. Yeah. But it's one that needs to be learned sometimes, sadly. But also when we learn it, But yeah, it's curious too. Some people are like all about the astrology, others are like, yeah, no, that's fake. But then I'm like, but look.
Once again, like it's like
with anything, there's not 100%.
The news, the fucking news.
Yes. Yeah.
What's scary right now is some fucking astrology like blurbs are actually a lot more accurate than the news you find.
That is true. Oh yeah, that is true. It is interesting. We live in a world now that where you're scrolling on your phone. First of all, you're scrolling on your phone, right? And then there's all sorts of information being set out there, good and bad, and others. And like you mentioned it before, there's a love-hate relationship that I have with socials, and how things are done on it. And I love that we've been able to connect with people and make really good friendships sometimes, or even relationships, and of course work based off of things that are online. But other times I'm like, yeah, no. Say to my face. Get off your keyboard, sit in my face.
Right. Yeah. And tell me that you love me.
Yeah, for sure. What is something that you think people might automatically assume about you when they first meet you? Because you are a presence when someone meets you.
and that's a surprise to me. I honestly don't know. I can't answer that because I that's I'm not I don't know how to answer that.
Okay. Because I know some people have like, oh yeah, some people think I'm mean stuff, Scorpios. Because they may have a resting bitch, or that they're not approachable, or that because you're really good looking, you're not gonna want to talk to me, blah blah blah. But you have such a positive energy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me very happy to hear. I'd rather hear that than I think I don't think about that. I don't think about that because I've thought about that stuff in the past, and I think it's really mind fucked me. And I've tried to then be someone that I'm not. So I have subconsciously, I think, really I try not to think about that, and I go in and I'm trying to be present minded, and just there. So I can't even think about that.
Yeah. No, but that's also a good way. I think that as sometimes people have that misconception of people, right? Because of looks or what others have heard, and other times, and I've learned it's still a hard lesson, and it's a day-to-day thing, a reminder that at the end of the day, others' assumptions or thoughts of me is not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's just one of those like, yeah, no, I'm sure people think I'm such an extrovert, but I'm really not. But that's also like, if you're in my circle, or we hung out, I will tell you, like, listen, my battery, I only got 4 spoons left. Who am I giving them to? And then that's it. And then I'm just gonna go and hide in my room. You can come with me and hide with me if you want, but I've been the excuse. Like, oh, listen, Viv has to go, so I gotta go with her because she gets lost. And I'm like, the fuck I do. Yeah, I'm lost. Yeah. Friendships, gotta love them. But
yes.
Well, I could continue talking to you forever. It's always such a interesting. You have this vibe and this thing that even through the technically phone, right? Or conversational.
Zoom.
The Zoom. Just you make people feel at ease, and you're just talking like you've been friends for forever. But deep conversations.
Thank you. That's so kind.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important too to have those, like words of affirmation, but also like, you know what? I feel safe talking to you, or I have fun talking to you. And also those are the kind of friends too that when you do have them, you can go months without talking to each other. And if you pick up like as if nothing, like it was just yesterday, or technically an hour ago.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're going to be going to Book Bonanza, and you're going to be going to Steamy Lit.
Book Bonanza and Steamy Lit.
Yeah, so those are 2 places people will be able to hang out with you when you're there. And I will see you at Steamy Lit.
I will.
Yes, so my first time in California.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Talk about popping a cherry there.
What are you gonna go to Disney? Or are you gonna go to, how long are you staying in Cali?
I am purposely taking an extended trip. My friend Shiloh James, who is going to be my host with the most, and she's like, we got to do Disney, and I'm like, yeah, because here in Orlando, I work for the Walt Disney World Company, and I would book flights to people to go to California, and I'm like, can I just have a product knowledge, because you want me to schedule these meetings, but I don't know from how long it takes you from one point to another. And they're like, nice try, Viv. And I'm like, damn it. So I've never been to the parks out there. So we'll see if I can figure it out. I think we're trying to figure out about one of the days that we're there during Stimulits after the events, because not before. Because here's the thing, I know I have to be on when it comes down to these events, and I don't want to get sticky poo. So I'm getting there like a day or two before, but we're low key. But afterwards, party's on.
Absolutely.
So last time you were here and we did the Patreon, one of the questions was, would you rather tell everyone your guilty pleasures or never partake in those guilty pleasures ever again? And 99.9% of you are always like, yeah, I'll tell everybody. And we kind of leave it at that, though, because that's not part of the, scenario of the line of questions. And then the joke always becomes, no, it's okay. Next time you're on the show, we'll talk about those guilty pleasures.
Okay.
And I'm not that girl, but I am now.
Okay.
So what are some of your guilty pleasures?
I think a guilty pleasure of mine, and it's something that I'm trying to learn, is unplugging. Just completely unplugging and being able to sit and veg and enjoy, crappy TV or something that I normally play video games that I don't get to do on, on PlayStation or whatever. That is a huge guilty pleasure, and I haven't really done that. It's like being able to, but unplugging from the phone, unplugging from the internet, doing a little getaway where I don't have the phone next to me. And here's the part which is really tough, we're talking about guilty pleasure here. Not feeling like I am missing out by not having the phone or the internet next to me. That's the guilty pleasure. That's the challenge as well, to allow myself the guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Recognizing that it's a good thing for you. It's not selfish. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and learn I'm gonna learn how to do an away message.
Yes. My out of office ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to do those.
OOOs.
Yeah. So I'm gonna learn those, and I'm gonna put
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I find it that it is very helpful on the receiving end to provide with that information, because then I don't think that you're like ignoring my emails, or my thing. I'm like, oh, I hope he's okay. I hope everyone with of yours is okay, and things like that. But also boundaries, and just saying, hey, now that I'm out, and I'm telling you that I'll be back in a week. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not gonna sweat it until later, and then a week and a couple of days afterwards, I'm like, poke. Yeah, but you need to also, it's okay to have that time away. It's good. It's constant reminders again, day-to-day learnings. And the world continues without you. We all will survive. The work will get done.
Absolutely. It will.
Yeah. All right. So before we do go, can you tell us what you're currently working on and what's coming up next for you?
What am I not working on is the question.
He's doing it all, folks. All the books.
I'm doing it all right now. I'm currently working on The Doors of Midnight, which is book 2 of the Tales of Tremaine. It's high fantasy. It's by R.R. Verdi. I am recording. I'm gonna be recording The Design of Us by Sajni Patel. And I'm also going to be recording the 3rd book in the If Shakespeare Were an Auntie series. It's a trilogy by Nisha Sharma. I'll be recording Marriage and Musty. Get the final 3rd book. And for those who don't know, Musty is mischief. So marriage and musty. So you can only begin to imagine there's gonna be a lot of marriage and mischief there. So I'll be recording those. Both of those, the 2 of those, with my dear friend Sunila Nankani. And that's all coming up in the next few weeks. That's why I'm like, my brain is like a fried mess. Because I've got all sorts of books in the cauldron.
No, that's for sure. And there's other projects too. And of course, my favorite, the NDAs, where we can't talk about things.
Oh yes, definitely on those ones too.
Yeah.
Definitely got those.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being part of this year's Audiobook Lovin Series and helping celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone, thanks for hanging out with us today. And we hope you've enjoyed this chat as well as the series. Make sure to follow Vikas over on his socials when he posts.
I
He's
try to
busy.
post. I'm pretty
He's busy.
decent about that.
You've gotten a lot better since the last time you were on here. So that's good. You will find all their links on the Audiobook Lovin 2024 series page over at Viviana Enchantress of Books. And until next time, happy listening.
Visit today's episode post to listen to sound clips of some of the books we discussed and enter the month-long giveaway. If you enjoyed the Audiobook Lovin podcast series and you want more, join the Audiobook Lovin podcast Patreon for early access to podcasts, exclusive content like the Would You Rather game and dinner party guests, and additional incentives such as bloopers, graphics, and much more. Support the podcast by becoming a Patreon at www.patreon.com/audiobooklovin. Thank you for joining Viviana and her guests for this podcast, and we hope you tune in again as we continue to celebrate Audiobook Month. The Audiobook Lovin Series is hosted by Viviana, the Enchantress of Books. Please make sure to visit the main page linked within the post to learn more about the entire Audiobook Lovin Series and the enchanting author and narrator guests who have joined us over the years. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a review wherever you listened, and please follow us on social media platforms and subscribe to the Viviana, the Enchantress of Books newsletter. Until next time, happy listening. Audiobook Lovin hopes you have enjoyed this program.